the Super Speedway.
Welcome to episode 338 of the Super Speedway podcast, recorded Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. I'm your host, Eric Young, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. And this is take two. Because it happened, James. It happened.
It finally happened.
300
to hit record.
338 episodes, I think 3 times now? 2 times? I've forgotten to hit the record button.
Yeah, we were half an hour in.
I'm so mad. So mad.
Well, you're not going to get what you're missing out on is our good little banter back and forth.
Yeah.
But we're gonna come back. We're gonna cover the race. It's okay.
Yeah, you know
I
what?
wish...
It probably works out because we talked about baseball and football and all that stuff. We just won't talk about that this time.
Yeah, we needed to reset. No, we're in our groove at this point, so
Right.
it's all good.
Right.
I will say, I wish that I was sitting over your shoulder watching the point where you looked over and said to yourself internally, "Oh no."
Do you want to see me cry? Is that what you want, James?
No, it wasn't like we did the whole episode. At least you caught it half an hour.
My
so
God.
it's all good, man. No worries.
So stupid. So stupid. Such amateurs. 338 episodes. Freaking amateurs. Not you. You were, well, I mean, you screwed up last week. You forgot the microphone.
I did. I forgot my microphone last week. So, but it happens, man. It's all good.
So you guys get the abbreviated discussion of the Cup race now because we talked about a bunch of stuff and we're probably not going to talk about it as much. Yeah, I'm all thrown off. So, but James, you know who wasn't thrown off this week?
Here we go. Good work. See, you're back. You're back. Okay, let's go. Who wasn't thrown off?
Ross Chastain gets the win. The Melon Man. Yeah.
Yes. I'll hit on you're going to hear me ramble for the second time, but
right.
So I told you as I was watching the race, but I just think it's funny kind of thinking back on it, the physical anguish that was going through my body as William Byron was not able to chase down Ross Chastain. Really gave me the creeps.
Yeah.
Known with my history with Ross, but nonetheless, this was a much well-deserved win for Ross Chastain, and as we said earlier,
right?
When we were talking earlier, Ross playing the disruptor is what he said.
Yeah.
And spoiled the show for the playoff guys.
Whatever. Whatever with the spoiler stuff. No, it was a good run for Ross. Great run. And you know, it is a statement to make in the playoffs when you win a playoff race and you're not a playoff driver. It is it's kind of a look at, what they're missing out on. But it's a threat for the next season. And I mean, Ross has done it 2 years in a row now. He did it at the last race last year. Of course, then this season started and he didn't do anything. But yeah, Ross wasn't on my bingo card for this one, really.
No, he wasn't on mine either.
But he is a good driver that really he doesn't surprise you when he comes out and wins, right?
Right. And I looked at the practice speeds, obviously we have our fantasy league for the super speedway, but
right.
I have one league that I'm in with the legacy league, and it plays out a little bit differently. And I had to find somebody, and I put him in, and I'm like, man, that really paid off for me.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was like, he's just good enough to get a top 10. That's kind of what I was thinking when I put him back in my lineup.
20th. Like, you wouldn't even think.
Yeah, and I just thought, yeah, and he didn't score stage points, but we had some pit road stuff going on where teams were, Ryan Blaney, for example, had a flat tire. He had to pit early. Some guys were off sequence.
Well, let's talk about
Blaine didn't have a flat tire.
Yeah, the loose wheel. Now let's talk about that. The crew wasn't sure, and they didn't bring him in.
Yeah,
what in the world?
Yeah, they salvaged the fact that he salvaged that day was pretty remarkable.
Yeah, Blaney should be really happy with how his day turned out.
Yeah, getting a top 5 out of that, he got lucky for sure. Yeah. And we completely missed that when we were recording earlier, or not recording earlier.
So it's a good thing we started over.
Yeah, exactly. We need to start over to get that point.
Right. Christopher Bell, obviously, misses out on a ton of points, kind of busted his butt twice, just pushing it over the edge a little bit too much. Gets in the wall. I mean, he was probably a certain victory for the first stage, right? I mean,
yeah, he did the reverse of what William Byron ended up doing on Sunday, where William Byron capitalized on his stage points, won a stage Had a really good stage 2, and then had a great finish to the end of the race. Christopher Bell squandered points, and he left around 15 points on the table. And you look at that and you say, okay, well, he's doing fine when you look at the standings, and you see him, in second position in points right now with 28 to the good. But you think about, you're going into Talladega, and those 28 points can disappear a lot quicker even than 34 points. You never know when those points are going to come into handy. When you squander them like that, it really, you may not think of it as much in the moment, but put a pin in it. That might come back to bite him. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. Tyler Reddick too, another one with missed opportunities in this one. 2311 as a whole did not perform well in this race.
Lack of long run speed. We talked about that a little bit. And
in our rehearsal.
Rehearsal, yeah. You were saying though, you were listening to DBC, and just the cars were loose.
Yep.
And I think heading into this race, I was listening to Jeff and Jordan on the teardown last week, and Jordan said, he goes, the 2311 guys are just they're missing something at Kansas now. And I was like, maybe it was just one bad race,
right?
And put Tyler Reddick, on my radar for everything I had going on.
He was on my fantasy league.
Yeah, and I thought he was going to be fine. I saw him up there in the top 10, and I'm like, okay, Tyler's going to salvage this deal. It's not the best day for the 45. Obviously, they want to win these races when they come here, but
they qualified
all of
fourth.
A sudden, all of a sudden a free fall, and he's back by guys who had major issues during the day, Chase Briscoe and Kyle Larson, and all of a sudden his day is completely shot.
Yeah, so, no stage points, only 12 points on the day.
And now he's
Tyler
below.
Reddick.
Yep. Now he's below the cut line.
Yeah.
So which is where you don't want to be, obviously.
Yeah.
Heading into Talladega.
Right. I mean, you would imagine Tyler Reddick's good in a road course, so you would assume he'll be decent at the Roval.
Yeah.
I can't remember how he usually runs on super speedways, but
he won Talladega last time.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
Remember
right.
that was the Michael Jordan was there whole deal.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. So
So
yeah, I mean, he's probably still feeling all right, but anytime you're outside the cut line, you got to be a little nervous for sure. So definitely a big miss there. Let's talk about the Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain.
Well, Ross was involved a little bit.
Yes, he was heavily involved actually.
But there was another car in red.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe and Kyle Busch. This is where we stopped fake recording earlier. James, you and I, we agree on this deal. That while Chase Briscoe may have been the cause of the incident, he didn't do anything wrong in this instance, right?
Right. Yeah, that's where you and I, and talking earlier in the week too, where I fall in this, and I don't know if it's just me, old school thinking on this or not, but the guy who's fighting to stay on the lead lap deserves every right to fight for his lap.
Yeah.
Especially when he's in the championship hunt as well. There's a little bit of an added pressure to that. But it wasn't everything Ross, or geez, oh Pete, I keep saying Ross for Chase. Everything Chase was doing there was not egregious by any means.
No.
There was a lane, not much, but there was a lane.
Mm-hmm. It certainly looked to be a bigger lane as he went into turn one, though. But that's the line he was running. Yeah. He didn't pinch him.
Yes,
but it did look like he took. If you're coming up behind him and you haven't been paying attention, it looks like he's giving you the outside.
Yeah, and he didn't give him the squeeze, and he didn't block him. There was a lane there, and even I think as we entered the back straightaway there, he was even giving him more room. I think he was anticipating the run.
Yeah.
It was just gonna kind of give Kyle the lane to go by, but
Kyle made a decision, and Kyle busted his butt as a result of that decision.
Well, and that's something that when it happens once, it's an oopsie. Happens twice, it's like, okay, this is multiple times this year where Kyle's been in this position and has had just ridiculous mistakes that are just not Kyle Busch like.
He's a desperate driver right now, James. He wants to continue that streak.
Yeah, and he didn't need to press there.
No,
I don't think. I think.
Ross
was probably going to get him.
If the decision he made, he had to go high. He would have to lift to not make the move he made, and Ross was passing him if he lifted. Right. Now he did get by Ross when Ross passed him the first time, but I don't think he had the car to do it a second time. So he probably did what he had to do. It just didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's tough because in the moment, if you're Kyle Busch, Kyle is in attack mode consistently right now. He's not laying off.
No.
Like similar to Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson's
Well, that's the thing. I was going to compare that. Is that Kyle Larson does the same thing. He's either winning or wrecking, and
he's in attack mode constantly.
Yeah.
And I almost wonder if you don't need to be so much in attack mode. Like,
shh, don't tell them that. We want them to be in attack
I
mode
know.
all the time. We want them to bust their butts because they're trying too hard.
Of course. But going back to tie in this conversation as well, something that I want to make sure we touch on. But watching William Byron try to chase down Ross at the end of the race, and you saw Ross was settled in. He was going to run his line and come take it from me, right? And I didn't see the aggression out of William Byron that in the moment I'm hoping for. I'm like, come on, man, go get him. Try something, dive low, run a lane down. But Byron never
even
took
run
any
the wall. Like he stayed off the wall.
Yeah, he didn't take any massive swings. And I think, your big picture thinking there is like, well, you know what? If I can run him down and then make a move, great. But I'm not going to do anything to put my race in danger. I have scored a ton of points. And if I can get out of here with the points lead, after this great day, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Winner, obviously we know what the win does for you. You want to win these races, but big picture thinking, right? You've got, you've got a whole bunch of other things going on there. And I think Kyle Busch is just, like you said, Aric, he's pressing.
Yeah.
That's not the Kyle Busch we know.
No, William Byron had just a spectacular day. I mean, it was all around
a smart, great race.
Yeah,
he needed it.
The only thing he didn't do was lock himself into the next round, but he essentially put himself in position to where he's pretty safe.
Right, and he didn't press when he didn't need to. And obviously, again, to win the race, you've got to do something. But he didn't do anything out of control. He stayed in control, and that's a guy who's been to the championship 4. He's navigated these playoffs before.
Right.
And that's how you get back to a championship 4. That's exactly what you got to do. And most of the time I'm like, dude, you didn't go for the win. You got to have the win. But when it's that difficult and you've got Ross Chastain in front of you and you know how much added pressure that is dealing with that guy, you gotta weigh all these options. And sometimes the risk and the reward don't add up. You gotta fight. A saying I like to say on this podcast is you got to live to fight another day.
Yeah.
And William Byron set himself up for a strong fight for the rest of this playoffs.
Yeah,
definitely. And Kyle Busch, going back to that situation, it's like, dude, if you let that corner go, you can get him again. He's not raw. Like Chase is not going to continue to block you up and down the racetrack the entire way around. Yeah, you didn't get him in corner 2. Go get him in corner 4 because you're going to get him. You're that much better than he is. He doesn't have anything for you. And Chase, again, defending his position a little bit, but not egregiously blocking or anything like that.
Right.
And definitely not giving it to him either, which he shouldn't do.
No, there is no rule in NASCAR that you have to pull over. They have a move over flag, but the move over flag is really there to warn the driver that the leaders are coming. There's nothing in the rule book that says you have to move over. There's nothing in the rule book that says you can't race the leader. Yep. And there was for a long time a gentleman's agreement that you didn't do that, but the gentleman's agreement is gone. And it has to be that the way these cars race, you just can't. Every inch is important. You just can't give up, and we don't want him to. So he's got to do what he's got to do.
There's a race within a race constantly going on.
Yeah.
And every race is more than just that race. It's the playoffs, the championship. It's the guys who haven't won a race trying to get a race win. There's a lot going on out there. There's different strategies and guys trying to pit out of sequence. And it's just, there are so many different factors going on here.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is Chase Briscoe got the job done in the regular season and made it to this point where he is still in contention for a championship. Kyle Busch has not.
Exactly.
And Kyle Busch is leading the race, but whether it could be any lap car. This is what has driven me nuts for years about Martin Truex Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever he's in the lead, what does he do?
Complains about the lap cars.
Screams about the lap cars. Get them out of my way. Get them out of my way. It's not their job to get out of your way.
It's one thing if they're down multiple laps.
Exactly.
If you're fighting to stay on a lead lap, that's important.
And if this was the last lap of the race or the last 5 laps of the race or something, I would expect Chase Briscoe to give him a little bit more grace.
Yeah.
But there was time left in this race, and if there's a caution, he needs to be on the lead lap to make have a chance to gain more points. He is big picture racing at this point. And it wasn't a great day for the 14 car, but he's got his own thing going on outside of what Kyle Busch has going on.
Right. Yeah, I would argue that at that point in the race, if Chase would have put Kyle on the wall, if he would have run him out of space, I still wouldn't have a problem with what he did.
I see. Now I disagree. I would have had a problem with it.
I mean, I'm flat out like Days of Thundering him into the wall. No,
Yeah.
but like if he pinched him off and cut the space off and did one of those, one of the Kyle Larson patent and slide jobs where you end up hitting the wall because what Denny Hamlin did to Ross Chastain back at Pocono a couple years ago. I'd have been all right with that.
Or he did that to Larson too. He pushed him all over the fence.
Denny's done that to several people, and Larson does it to a lot of people too. So
yeah, see, I disagree with you there, but the only reason I disagree with you there is that I think that's a step too far in that direction. Whereas I think like Chase Briscoe in this situation, he was on the good side of the line. Like he was pushing the line just a little bit, but he was on the good side.
Oh, definitely. Well, and I have a question for you.
Respected him. Yeah.
Does Kyle Busch have a right to be mad?
I don't think he does.
I think he does. He has a right to be mad. He freaking wrecked. Like he has a right to be mad.
Yeah, but not
tough.
Chase Briscoe.
Well,
it's not.
I mean, I don't know. I could see him being mad at Briscoe. I think he has a right to be mad at Briscoe.
But again, Chase didn't do anything to him.
No, but you still didn't cut him slack. I get it. I get why Kyle's upset. He should be. He lost the race because of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you said earlier, I think it's the biggest thing. It's a racing incident. It's just nobody wrecked anybody. Yep. Just somebody tried to move that the other person didn't leave enough room for, and somebody wrecked. And that's racing.
Yeah, have better control of your race car.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, unfortunately that's it. Like, again, live to fight another day.
Yeah.
You can win this race. You can get by this guy if you're just a little bit more patient. And it's easy for me to say that coming from my chair.
Right.
Where in Kyle Busch's instance, he's like, I got to go, man.
Right.
I got Ross bearing down on me. I got to get separation. I got to beat this guy to the corner. And, again, a million different things happening at one time. It's a racing incident. It just happens.
So you're suggesting they should have control of their race car. So I'm assuming you're saying they shouldn't make a left turn in the middle of the pack through another car and wreck themselves, right?
Yeah. Who did that?
Oh, Justin Haley did that in a 7 car.
Yes, but familiar seeing the 7 car do it.
Yeah, it was very interesting, and apparently spotter miscommunication. The way the spotter was calling him 3 wide in the middle, Justin did not understand what he was saying, and it leads me to believe that maybe Corey LaJoie wasn't the issue in the 7 car. Maybe it's the spotter. Not to throw the spotter under the bus, but
I think it's sometimes it's just the seat.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who's in it. You could put anybody you want. Ryan Blaney, put Ryan Blaney in that seat. See how it goes.
Yeah. How about Zane Smith? Zane Smith ran well in this race.
Dude, I've seen so many stats on Zane Smith and how much better he's getting.
Yeah.
And it bums me out that he's
right.
he's looking for work. He's too good.
Yeah.
I think he's surpassed Carson as the better driver on that team right now. Like the way he's running at this current moment, he's been just flying. Speaking of Carson, though, too, Carson was really good in this race.
Yes, he was.
He's just good every week. It's crazy. That team is so good.
Zane Smith's looking for work, and meanwhile, Ty Dillon's coming back to the Cup Series. So there you go.
Oh, my God.
That's how things go.
Oh, man. How does he get away with it?
I don't think we talked about in the second instance of our podcast here about Kyle Larson. Another one lost a ton of points on the day. Not of his doing for once, but again, the inconsistency of Kyle Larson. He goes out and dominates one week, and then the next week wrecks after running over something on the track and can just never quite recover from it. He's only 18 points to the good now.
It's so strange. It's just a tire gone, and it's a reminder, I think, for everybody too. But it's a reminder for these playoff drivers, like, even if it's not in your control, like, it happens very quickly.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing they could do. They couldn't get that car right, even though they tried. He just didn't have the speed, and it was a long day for the 5 team, unfortunately. So, they're going to have a hard time. They do not run good at Talladega.
Right.
So they're going to have to shock the world a little bit.
Well, he actually does run good at Talladega. He just never finishes at Talladega. He just can't finish.
Yeah, he just can't finish.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens this weekend for him. I know you have this down in the news discussion, but I want to talk about it here. Let's talk about the Josh Berry incident. First lap of the race, Josh Berry involved in an accident, cuts down all 4 tires, expects the NASCAR to tow him back to the garage or back to the pits so that the tires can be repaired, because that's been the protocol pretty much all season, and they tow him to the campground. And he's out of the race. And Rodney Childers not happy, took to Twitter afterwards complaining about it. I know we disagreed with Ryan Blaney a couple of weeks ago here at Watkins Glen, or at least I did. I can't remember what your stance was on it. That Ryan Blaney shouldn't have been towed back to pit road to fix his car. But this is flat tires. We have consistently seen cars towed back to pit road for flat tires. Before we talk about it, Brad Moran was on Sirius XM NASCAR radio and discussed this and gave you determine how good this answer is. Here's what Brad Moran had to say on Sirius. If I can hit play.
It's really clear on our recovery program and our DVP that if you're involved in an incident, you have to be able to get your vehicle back to pit road. If it's just sitting there with flat tires, you've spun out, we'll even give you a light scuff. That would be one thing. That vehicle would have been towed in. So I from what Rodney said, and I haven't talked to him yet, I will be talking to him later today. But from the reports I had, the car really wasn't damaged and probably could have participated. And we never want to take vehicles out of the race, and that is our rule. It's similar to what happened to the 12, but he did have a mechanical issue. But unfortunately, you just don't have the ability to inspect that. It's more if they can drive it back or not.
No, this does not apply to Josh Berry, Brad, but we've had listeners ask, would it be a different view if a team was a championship team or if something like that happened at the Championship 4 race at Phoenix Raceway?
Yeah, no, it'd be a real bad situation because we wouldn't change the rule. Really, when the incident recorder goes off, that's a pretty big hit. The driver needs to go to the care center. All these other items have to happen for safety, and we certainly wouldn't want that to happen. But the rule hasn't changed. It's been that way. It's just on that particular incident, it didn't feel right or look right, but it was done correctly, and it's again something we're going to review over the winter, and it may change.
So yeah, NASCAR is saying that the incident recorder went off, that the impact was so hard from him making contact with the other car. What are your thoughts on this, James?
I mean, if it's flat tires, we gotta get him to pit road and let him race. I don't understand this.
I have differing arguments because I remember last year or 2 years ago when we started discussing this the first time that my argument was don't spin out. But to have your race ended because of flat tires, it's just silly. Now
it sucks, man, because you go all the way out there,
right,
and it's like you're done in half a lap because you have flat tire,
right. And I honestly almost hope this happens to a playoff driver or somebody in the Final Four.
Watkins Glen in a way, right?
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
It's kind of like,
yeah, but that's different. See, that was car broke in the incident. It's different if the car's broken, but the flat tires, NASCAR has set a rule that they'll tow you back to pit road. One of the problems is too that they tow you back to pit road. Now your car's broke. Now they have to tow you again. Now you're extending the caution. So I get all that stuff. My opinion on DVP. I think DVP is stupid. I hate it. I wish let them tow them back to the garage and let them come back out. The whole thing's dumb. Don't get out of the car. If you get out of the car, you're done. It's all stupid. We could solve the issue by just getting rid of it. But I don't know. Rodney Childers has a reason to be upset.
He does. He has a good reason for it.
Josh Berry has a right to be upset. Just poor move, and it sounds like NASCAR hasn't learned anything. So
just let the race car drivers race if they can get the car back out there, man.
Yep.
I don't think it's that hard.
Yeah, it's just stupid. Stupid. That's my answer. Stupid.
Yep, it is. It is. It's stupid. The car should not be sitting in the campground.
No.
When it can race.
No. Especially, I mean, they're making a decision on the spot, and then they say afterwards, well, it probably could have kept racing. Well, no crap, it could have kept racing. It was fine. Anyway,
Oh man.
Tyler Reddick outside, 4 points out. Daniel Suarez, 14 points out. Chase Briscoe, 25 points out. Austin Cindric, 29 points out. Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, both 4 points to the good. Alex Bowman, 8 points to the good. Denny Hamlin, 11 points to the good. Kyle Larson, 18 points to the good, and everybody else is in pretty decent shape.
Bowman had a really good day. Like shout out Alex Bowman. I had him out in the round of 16. He's not going away without a fight.
Yeah, he's doing good.
He'll be good at Talladega too. So it's he's sticking in the fight here for a little bit. He'll be good at the Roval. He's round of 8 potential now. If that guy's Aric, what have we always said about that guy? He will be. I won't be surprised if he never wins a race again, and if he wins a championship, I won't be surprised either because I don't know what to do with him. He's proven it again.
He could never win a race again, and he could win 5 in a row. We just never know.
We never know, and we're at that point again where it's like, crap, is he going to win this championship? And I'm going to have to try to figure out what to do with the legacy of Alex Bowman.
Right
here he is again. He's back in the hunt, man.
What do you think of the 4 drivers that are outside looking in right now? Do we think Reddick's going to make it back in? You think he's going to scramble back?
Yeah, Reddick's too good.
Who's coming out then? Chase?
Logano.
You think Joey's coming out? We're going to Talladega this weekend.
Yeah, but if he's only 4 points to the good after Talladega, he's coming out.
Yeah. I don't know.
We know that somebody's coming out. It's not going to end up this way.
The other
it's
three
not
are
going to end up this way.
The other 3 are out, right? Without a win, they're not coming back in.
No.
To make up 14 or more points to get back in, it's just so tough.
Well, it's tough because Suarez won Atlanta, and like we know he can speedway race. We know he can road course race at the Roval. So Suarez might not be out of this thing just yet.
I think
now Briscoe.
I think Suarez is done.
I would like to agree with you. I'm not ready to do that.
I would be less surprised to see Cindric win at Talladega than I would Suarez.
Well, Cindric can. That's the problem. Cindric can win at Talladega.
So can Chase.
And Chase Briscoe's good on road courses.
Well,
so
Chase isn't too bad on super speedways either, is he?
Well, that's it. Somebody's coming out of here. Somebody's coming out. It could be Chase Elliott, Joe Logano. Could be any of them.
Denny?
Larson crashes.
Denny? Could be Denny.
Dennis?
I would not be surprised to see Larson fall out.
Dennis? Yeah, I know.
If I were Larson, 18 points to good, I'd be nervous.
I want to get to the Roval 20 points ahead at the bare minimum would be how I'd say. It's how many people are in between you too. That's the good thing he's got going for him. He's got a lot of people in between him, so he's got
but they're close.
I know. Go get stage points at Talladega, and then whatever happens.
That's what they got to do. Larson's got to run up front.
Just try to win stages, and whatever happens from there.
Don't do the Denny Hamlin Atlanta strategy. I ain't gonna get it. I ain't gonna do it for you.
Jesus Christ, yeah. No, it's not gonna work.
Ross Chastain gets his 5th victory in 217 Cup Series races. James,
the most winningest driver in the history of the one car.
That's interesting.
The number 1. That's a new one.
It's a good stat.
Yep, that is a good stat.
Zane Smith,
not the highest caliber roster in the history of racing with the one car, but regardless, nonetheless.
Zane Smith is the highest finishing rookie, 10th place. William Byron's your points leader, 6 points over Christopher Bell. There you go. There's your Cup Series at Kansas. NASCAR Xfinity Series was in action on Saturday. Aric Almirola gets the win for Joe Gibbs Racing. Justin Allgaier busts his butt again. The story of Justin Allgaier, that will be the story of his career in the Xfinity Series.
Jeez, man.
Just cannot get out of his own way. I'll tell you.
Jeez.
Cole Custer, a little mad at Chandler Smith for running him out of room. Speaking of drivers running somebody up the track. Yeah. What do you think of this one? Anything? Any comments on that one? Just racing?
No. Yeah. For the most part.
Freddie Kraft had a good comment that I think it was Freddie. He said that, Chandler gets upset when people do this stuff to him, but he goes and does it to everybody else too. And it's like, if you're going to race like a bonehead, you got to take it when people race you like a bonehead.
What race was he screaming about getting raced too hard. Was that Atlanta?
Which one?
Yeah.
He's done it a few times.
I really like Chandler Smith, and I know I've said this on the podcast. I like his talent, but
Yeah.
he's got to get his head screwed on just a little bit straighter.
He's one that needs time in the Xfinity series because he needs to learn to mature. He needs to mature.
Yeah, he's still a pup, man. He's only 22, so.
How about
I'll give him a
Connor
little grace.
Zilich's saves in this race? Did you see that?
Yeah, he got wildly loose. Yeah. That's a good-looking race car, too. That
Yeah, it
KOA
was.
scheme. I like that car. Yeah.
So, yeah, where did Zilich end up finishing? 4th place, James. That guy that you said was going to struggle on ovals.
Yeah. I didn't say that.
First
Well,
and
maybe I did.
4th so far in the Xfinity series. I'd say that's pretty good.
Aric, you want to know Aric Almirola's winning percentage over the last 2 seasons in the Xfinity series?
Sure.
30%.
That's crazy.
He's won 3 of his last 10 starts.
Hmm.
And if he wouldn't have had a lengthy sabbatical this
Right.
season, he might have a few more.
If we wouldn't have gotten into it with Bubba.
Yeah, whatever that story was, right?
Right? I don't think we'll ever know the full story there, but
He's
sure
been
curious.
pretty good in that Xfinity Series car. It makes you wonder, like, how come more teams or how come more drivers who get in those Gibbs cars aren't that good?
Maybe
He's
Almirola's that good.
He's pretty freaking good, and then he gets in that car.
Obviously.
Pretty good.
I mean, he had some good runs in the 10 car when the 10 car was trash, so.
He was a top 5 finisher in the Cup Series point standings in that car.
Yeah. Riley Herbst was mad at Austin Hill for wrecking him coming out of turn 4. Don't blame Riley for being upset. He got dumped, but by the sounds of things, as much as I want to say Austin Hill's a bonehead, sounds like Austin Hill just screwed up, and sometimes that happens. He wasn't watching out the front; he was watching out the mirror. So that's racing.
There it is. That
There you
is
go.
racing. Yep.
Anything else with the Xfinity race you want to talk about, James? I know we're going to try and bust through these a little quicker.
Yep. Let's rip through it.
Cole Custer, points leader, 5 points over Chandler Smith. Shane Van Gisbergen, highest finishing rookie, in 8th place, and that was the 6th victory in 112 Xfinity Series races for Aric Almirola, as I try not to die over here. The Kubota Tractor 200 for the Craftsman Truck Series was in action on Friday night. Corey Heim gets the win in this one. Playoff cutoff race for the Truck Series. Losing out on their playoff run. Daniel Dye and Ben Rhodes fall out of the playoffs. Daniel was out early with trouble early in the race, went down a few laps. Rhodes fought but was not able to come back and clinch. So Ben Rhodes is out as well. Truck Series. I'm trying to think there. I thought there was one other thing I wanted to mention here. Again, Corey Heim gets the win here. Lane Riggs, another strong performance. 2nd place for him. Just about spoiled the whole round.
Yeah.
So great run for him. I guess that's it. Not really a whole lot to discuss here. Christian Eckes leads points. 8 points over Corey Heim. Lane Riggs was your highest finishing rookie in 2nd place, and that was the 11th victory for Corey Heim in 60 Craftsman Truck Series races.
Raja Karuth advances.
There you go. Yep.
That's good.
Yep. Good stuff.
The other story out of the Truck Series this week was Grant Enfinger is apparently going to be racing in an Oldsmobile.
That was good.
Talladega. How does that happen?
He even said that. I don't know how that happens.
How does that happen on the entry list?
The official entry list.
When's the last time Oldsmobile has been listed on an entry list in the Cup Series? It has to be like early 90s.
Well, it's like, yeah, it's not like it's like in the system or something and they just accidentally clicked on it because
it's a Truck Series.
There's no way they were using computers to register cars the last time it was in.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Great stuff. Great stuff. I hope there's a story behind that somewhere.
I know. We got to get Bob on it.
Yeah, come on, Bob. Let's talk some news, James. Full Speed coming back to Netflix for a 2nd season. Kind of knew this was coming. Also, some other stuff sounds like with the group there too. Partnership that they got. So
more content coming.
Yeah.
Who knows?
More content's good, right?
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take NASCAR content. I'll watch something in the off season.
Full Speed was good last year. I'm excited to see it again. That was fun.
I had no problem with Full Speed last year. Booty Barker was a delight.
Yeah. I assume that 2311 will not get as much exposure this year, if any.
Yep. Yep.
Guessing they're not going to be super cooperative this year.
Yep.
Just a guess.
Yep.
A bunch of teams and former drivers assisting with hurricane relief after, man, the mess out there and the freaking mountains out in Carolinas and stuff. It's just crazy. And then there's another one coming that may come through that area too. It's just sad, that whole deal.
Yeah.
Anything particular you want to hit on here, James? Is there anybody you want to mention, or just kind of wanted to?
Well, no, I just saw like Greg Biffle, Carl Edwards. I saw 23XI's $1 million donation to help relief. I just thought it was cool that our industry, those people who are super busy all the time,
right?
Finding ways to help.
NBC kept telling the story of the NASCAR official that was going out there and helping.
That was cool. Yeah, Greg Biffle's been flying nonstop apparently. Getting help from whenever he can. So just
should we clarify for the people on Twitter that Marty Smith is helping out too?
Yeah. yeah. Just because he hasn't tweeted about it doesn't mean he didn't do it.
Yeah.
So, good Lord, people on Twitter. I got something for that's. I'm gonna get back to some online stuff from this week. I've got some thoughts.
Gotcha.
So I'll share those later.
All right. Ty Dillon, I mentioned earlier, back to the Cup Series. He'll drive the 10 car for Kaulig next season, replacing the 31, obviously, with Stuart Haas going away. We've got some numbers available again. And Kaulig has the 10 in the Xfinity Series, so they've grabbed it for the Cup Series next year. Thoughts on this? I mean, we've kind of talked about it before. It's kind of like
how does he keep getting away with it?
I don't know.
Apparently, they're getting additional support from RCR on this deal.
Maybe that's how he got away with it.
That's probably how he got away with it.
I mean, Kaulig is on the RCR campus, so.
And they need engines, apparently, so.
Yeah.
There you go.
We got some aero changes coming for Talladega. James, not quite as extreme as what was rumored early in the week. Rumor was originally we're going to get a shark fin all the way down the windshield of these cars at Talladega, but apparently the drivers nixed that because they want to be able to see out the windshield.
Yeah, that'd be good.
For some reason, I don't know why they'd want to do that.
Can we see the racetrack, or should we be worried about being on our lid?
Right.
Yeah, that's the conundrum.
So we got some changes. The shark fin is going to be extended up on the roof of the car. So the right roof rail on the car will be taller. It'll be clear though. So supposedly the fans probably won't really notice it. They're adding a piece of cloth to the side of the roof flap, the right roof flap when it comes up, to help deflect the air a little bit more. And they're also adding an extended rocker panel skirt on the side of the car to hopefully keep the cars on the ground. I get it. We got to keep doing stuff to keep these cars on the ground, despite the fact that a lot of the drivers have said they'd rather flip than hit the wall anyway. The biggest concern, obviously, is catch fence and grandstands. I don't think NASCAR is so worried about cars flipping as they're worried about cars leaving the surface and going where they shouldn't be. So I get it there. The question I have, James, is why aren't we doing the same stuff to the Xfinity cars? Because those cars have been lifting off the ground too. We've had a lot of Xfinity flips at Talladega over the years.
I mean, very recently at Michigan, as well.
I mean, they fixed the truck series essentially. For the most part, the trucks don't lift off the ground much anymore. Yeah. But they just can't seem to keep these cars on the ground, and I don't know. These changes, I have a solution, James. Do you know how you keep the cars on the ground at Daytona and Talladega? You're going to solve two issues with this. Take Aero away.
Yeah.
Because if there's less downforce, when they turn around backwards, there's less lift.
Yep.
I'm not an engineer. I'm not a physicist, but it just seems logical that that's the way to do it. And it slows them down too. But I don't know. You think this is going to work? You think the cars are going to stay on the ground, or you think we're going to have
cars are going to flip when they go backwards?
We're going to have an airborne car this weekend. I wouldn't be surprised to have a couple of them.
Steve Letarte just better be careful.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Well, I will say this, though. Somebody, I think it was DBC that mentioned it again this week. A good point that I've never really thought about is, so we've got these catch fences. They've been tested. They're pretty damn safe. They keep cars in the track, right? Yeah. The biggest concern that you don't really think about is every time we see one of these flips, one car gets airborne and flips.
Yep.
But when the first car hits the catch fence is gone.
Yep.
What happens if a second car goes into that catch fence?
That's, yep.
I've never really thought about that, but if you think of the Austin Dillon incident, If another car was behind him, it was going in the stands. There was nothing there to stop it.
Yep.
So I get it. It all comes down to keeping the cars on the racetrack and within the bounds of the walls. And so they got to do what they got to do.
That's right.
It's a good step. I don't think it's going to fix the issue. I would not be surprised to see a car flip this weekend. And not all the flips are Aero either. I mean, it's just cars flip at short tracks going 40 miles an hour. It happens. So
Yep.
We'll see what happens here. Bubba and Amanda Wallace had an announcement today. They are having a baby. So congratulations to them.
Had a baby.
They had a baby. Okay. Did they have a baby?
The baby's out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I read that wrong. Yes, there you go.
He flew back. The baby was born and then came back to Kansas and raced.
That's right. I forgot that. He was.
He was on baby watch.
She was ready to pop.
Chase Briscoe on baby watch as well.
Yeah, there you go.
With twins on the way. Who knows when that's gonna.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, because her last race was the one that he won, right?
He won. Yep. Yeah, he won Darlington, and then Michael McDowell helped her get over the pit wall.
Chase Briscoe with twins, man. Dude, I feel sorry for you. I've done the twins thing, man.
He's gonna have 3 under 3. That's.
Yeah. Ooh, see, we did the twins, but we didn't have one before we had twins.
Holy shit, dude! I tell you what.
Did you just drop the S-bomb and now I gotta go and bleep?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I as a dad, I can't imagine it. Don't go back and bleep that one.
All right. I'll leave it in there.
People who are parents will understand.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I'm a father of 2, and you're a father of 2,
mm-hmm.
and I tell you.
Yeah. You can probably hear my 2 right now outside of the room that I'm podcasting in because none of them are smart enough to not yap and yell and talk right outside of the studio here. And
yeah. My 2 are usually above my head running around. Usually. I hear feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Man.
You added to the notes here right before we started recording or trying to record the first time. FedEx looking to leave JGR at the end of the season.
Yeah, paring down.
Yeah.
It's more of a rumor at this point, but FedEx has been kind of trimming their budget. Obviously motorsports, when that happens, we've seen this happen before. Eric Lowe's, Home Depot did this.
Right.
I think a lot
There's
of
just not a lot of sponsors that stay on a car all year long.
Well, you can only ask for multi-million-dollar deals every single year for so long,
right?
Before it's like, okay, how much longer are we gonna get anything out of this? So
FedEx has been in sport a long time, and they've been on Denny's car his entire career.
His entire career has had FedEx on that car. So,
and they were here a while before he came in. So,
yeah, they were with that team launched with Jason Leffler. They had presence on his car.
Yep.
Yeah, it stinks when we lose major sponsors. It always has. I mean, I think of, a good example is Tony Stewart won the championship, and then the very next year it was announced that Office Depot was going to be gone.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, and he had just lost a couple of other sponsors. That was a pretty tough time. We haven't had this in a while.
Right. Well, M&M's.
M&M's was one. Yep. Yeah, that stinks too because Kyle had that for so long. But yeah, I mean, it's Gibbs has these long-term major sponsorships, but it's not a sustainable business model anymore. So, hence the reason the charter agreement got so.
Yeah. Yeah. Why the teams want more money?
Well, and maybe Denny saw the writing on the wall with this deal on his team with Joe Gibbs, and that's maybe why he's continuing the fight. So. Well,
at least we know, James, that if the teams get more money from NASCAR, they'll start charging sponsors less, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. They're going to get their dollars. Mm-hmm. Don't worry. NASCAR's going to make its money. That's for sure.
Right. We had a couple other driver announcements too this week. Carson Kvapil is going to drive full time in the one car for Dale Jr. and Xfinity next season.
He's good.
Good. That's going to be fun. I love seeing the Junior Motorsports training ground over there.
Yeah, the pipeline, baby.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool to see. So, good for him. That'd be cool to see him up in the Xfinity series. I think he's going to be impressive. He's done well in the starts that he's had, and certainly great late model driver. Rivals with Josh Berry was doing down there before he came up. So, good to see.
Yeah, he'll win races.
Yeah, there was another one too, but I don't remember which one it was. So we'll just We'll just pretend that one doesn't
Was it
exist.
Ty Dillon?
No, it wasn't Ty Dillon. Any other news, James? Anything pop across your feed in this?
No, that's the major news that I still see. I was checking Twitter right now.
Okay.
Nope, I think that's it, man.
Checkered Flags. Any Checkered Flags for you this week, James?
Yeah, I saw mentioned him a handful of times. Obviously, a guest of the show, but Derek Winter was at Kansas, so he had some pretty cool access. So was just following along, and all of a sudden I was like, "Hey, that's not a NASCAR related account. That's Derek. I gotta see what he's got going on." So yeah, he was down there in Victory Lane with Aric Almirola. And,
Nice.
Yeah, so looks like he had some pretty sweet access. I don't know what he's got going on over there, but pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Sounds like we need to start hanging out with him.
Apparently. Oh, Eric, we didn't mention the Wonder Bread cars.
Oh back, yeah, so the Wonder Bread car. And I mean, we might as well throw in the Tony Stewart throwback
Priest.
for Chase Briscoe as well.
Yes, the Stewart Haas guy's got some cool looking race cars coming to Talladega. But yeah, the Wonder Bread, it's not the same as Talladega Nights, but he's got flames on it. Looks pretty sweet.
They got him and the crew chief though doing the Talladega Nights lines in the on the old social medias today.
One more time, baby. One more time before the team shuts down.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Anytime we can do a movie car, it's good stuff.
Yeah, so. I'm always good with that.
Yeah. My Checkered Flag, James, I've been meaning to do this for a couple of weeks and keep forgetting about it. And before we started recording here, I was sitting here at the computer and I was playing on the old PlayStation Portal and went, oh yeah, you know what? I want to talk about World of Outlaws Dirt Racing 24. Which came out a few weeks ago. I've been playing like freaking crazy. I've won the World of Outlaws late model championship now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Lots of. I think I've got a couple of modified UMP modified championships too. Yeah, I've been playing it like crazy. It's a good game. I've seen a lot of criticism on it that it's too much cut and paste from the last version of the game. I disagree. I mean, it's really similar, but I think the physics of the cars are better in this one. I don't know if they're easier to drive. I think they're more accurate to drive, especially the late model. I really like a lot better in this one. So I had an issue because I play with the controller. I'd love to play on wheel, but I use the controller, and for some reason, the cars always really pulled left. Annoyingly, and it was really hard to go straight down a straightaway. I'd always end up oversteering and turning right into the wall. And I don't have that issue with this one. So I think they fixed some things with it. They've added some supposedly changing tracks, although they really only change from practice to qualifying to race conditions. They don't change within the race. But still good stuff, and it's a nice preview still of what we're going to see when we get a NASCAR game next year.
They said, I saw this week, one of the developers said, if you like what we've been doing with World of Outlaws, we are making really good progress for the NASCAR console game. So I
keep hearing some good stuff that makes me excited about that. Speaking of which, the NASCAR Coca-Cola series, whatever, is racing their finale tonight as well.
Yep.
Championship 4 are at the Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool. They all have their setups there, so pretty neat. And I thought I had one other one, but I guess that's it for me. How about Black Flags, James? Any Black Flags this week?
Yes. Social media NASCAR content creators.
All right.
My God. People don't know what they're talking about. I am so tired.
Trust me, that's not just NASCAR.
Well, I know. It's online, it's social media. But these content creators, I'm not going to name any of them by name, but they're the ones who make the funny little TikTok videos and all this other crap.
I bet you I could guess one right now.
There's a handful of them. They drive me crazy. Most of the time, I enjoy some of the stuff that they have content. But when they start spouting off about things that they don't understand, I get very frustrated. One of these topics is the stupid Winston Cup standings. And every couple of weeks, the Winston Cup standings start making the rounds, and I get furious by this.
Yeah.
So this week I finally had it. So got angry about it, and finally I was like, you know what? Are we still playing make believe with this Winston Cup thing, or are you guys actually not counting stages and not counting overtimes? Because I think that would make a difference in the standings too.
Right.
If we're gonna go back to the Winston Cup era, you can't just take the race results. You have to be as accurate as possible now. So of course I get people firing back at me. No, you know what this is, including all points. I'm like, well, okay, so my argument, so I win then. I win.
Oh, I gotta go
Because
find
this is
these
all
threads
stupid.
now.
Oh my God, people are so dumb. It bothers me. I see it on Instagram all the time. I'm to the point. My hands are going, Aric. I'm talking like Trump. I got my hands out. I'm yelling. I'm to the point where I just want to quit social media. I just want to quit. I'm like, the whole Winston Cup thing. That's just one example. I'm not going to get into the rest of it. Dale, sorry, I almost said. His name starts with Dale. You can find out who he is if you look hard enough. That guy drives me crazy.
Oh, that's funny.
He's got funny videos though, so I laugh every once in a while. But he still drives me crazy.
Yeah,
he doesn't know what he's talking about.
There's a few of them, and there's actually one that I am picturing right now in my head. That's a Facebook account. I think it's primarily Facebook, and I've actually met the guy. He comes to Michigan. And so I won't call him out, but oh my God, there's been a few times when I have typed long responses and gone,
thought about it?
You know what? I know this guy. I'm not going to be a complete D-bag.
It's best to think about it. You know who's good at this stuff is Aric Estep. He does a good job.
Yeah, he does.
I should shout out the good ones. If I'm going to criticize the bad ones, I should shout out the good ones. And you know what most of this stuff is? Because these content creators, they're not creative people. I'm just going to say that right now. They take stuff that exists out there already, that's archived, that's NASCAR footage, and then they just put their own little spin on it and just use whatever somebody else has already
what's
made.
what's even worse
drives me crazy
are the YouTubers that you'll if you follow a bunch of these NASCAR YouTubers, one of them will post a video like worst crashes of the next gen era, and then suddenly 3 other ones post a video exactly the same. Yeah. And it's like, so you guys are all just freaking copying each other. That's what you're doing. Yeah,
there's one guy in particular who's plagiarizing. That's a whole story. If you get into the NASCAR Twitter rabbit hole, there's our YouTube guy who's been plagiarizing all of his content, basically taking it word for word, and putting it in his stuff. That's just maddening to me.
Like we quote stuff from articles, and yes, we use JSki a lot for our news items.
I would say we aggregate,
but we always will credit where we get it from. First of all, everything that we talk about in the news is credited in the show notes. There's links, and yes, most of them are to JSki, but that's just because that's the easiest spot to get news from. But I look at our show notes right now, and we got NBC Sports, we got JSki, we got Newsweek this week. We always talk about where we get, even when we talk about, we use an idea that we heard in a podcast. We mention the podcast that we heard it from, and we credit them. We're not taking.
When I talk about the teardown, I'm saying that because I think you should go listen to the teardown.
Exactly.
Because I think it's a great resource.
Yes.
I don't know, man. Listen, people could probably nitpick what we do as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I forgot to record tonight, so.
Yeah. Well, I know. I just have fun talking about it, and we aggregate things, but that's. We're just having a conversation. That's what we would do if we were just having if we were just chatting without the recording going. That's what we would do. That's the show that we do. But
even if I use driver audio that I've pulled from somebody else, I try to always credit who we've pulled that from.
It drives me crazy, these people. Yeah. My God.
Jeez.
My God. And I'm all for, let me say this too. I'm all for good conversation. We had a Twitter conversation this week with somebody who listens to the show, and I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I don't mind being pushed and challenged. I think that's great. That's great.
Yeah, that was a fun debate.
Yeah, I'm good with that kind of stuff. Bring it.
Let's give Justin a shout out. That was a great conversation. I enjoyed that conversation with him.
Yeah, me too, man. Hop in, and if you think that I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I'm with you, man. That's fine.
90% of the time you are. So.
Yeah. Well, no, how it usually goes is I'm right, and then eventually you're like, crap, James was right.
No. Just don't be starting rumors. Jeez.
Anyway, I'm done. That's
fake news.
That's my black flag.
Well, I'm gonna jump on yours because I really didn't have one. I was gonna probably say something about a driver that made a mistake this weekend. So I'll stick with you on that. I agree with James. That's a good call.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Screw those guys.
Yeah. Screw you.
We head to Talladega this weekend, James.
Oh man, yes.
Best race of the year, the playoff race at Talladega.
Always good racing at Talladega.
Yep. NASCAR Cup Series in action on Sunday at 2 p.m. and it's the YellaWood 500. NASCAR Xfinity Series in action in the fall. This is the first time we've seen this in a while. The United Rentals 250, Saturday at 4 p.m. and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in action in Love's RV Truck Stop or Love's RV Stop 225 Friday at 4:30 p.m. So I get to come home from work on Friday and watch some trucks.
And the Detroit Lions on a bye on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I get to enjoy Talladega just like I enjoyed Kansas. Lions free. So I could focus.
The 1 year I don't have to make fun of the Lions and say, well, at least they won't lose this week. Yeah.
Well, you could have said that last year too.
Right. Yeah.
You know, we're on a bit of a heater here.
Yeah. Well, they started out rough last year though, didn't they? And they went on the heater at the end.
It's okay. We're okay now.
Yeah.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
Everything's good.
James, you get to make the first pick for Talladega this weekend. Who is your pick for Dega?
I feel like there's only one correct answer. I think it's got to be Ryan Blaney.
Yeah,
right.
It's a good pick.
It's got to be Ryan Blaney.
That's a good pick. That was mine, so it's a good pick.
Okay, I'll take Blaney. Well, go ahead and pick. I have a dark horse I want to mention, but go ahead, you pick.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna go with his teammate. I'm gonna go with Joey Logano because he was my backup. So
perfect.
Joey Logano.
One guy I want to mention. I'm looking at the results here. The last 4 starts, this driver has 3 top 10s. The most. He has ran all of the laps, and his average finish is 9.3, which is 4th among all active drivers. Todd Gilliland.
Yeah, that'd be a really good pick actually.
I'm gonna be considering him for some lineup stuff. Chase Briscoe's really good the last few. Daniel Suarez really good the last few, and Tyler Reddick. So and Alex Bowman, like they're all clumped together. So
yeah.
Should be interesting for the points battle.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's a crapshoot. We don't know who's going to win.
Not picking Keselowski is kind of making me itch a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, but he's not in the playoffs anymore. I
know.
I don't think he's going to do it.
Gosh. Kyle Larson, terrible here. Joey Logano, terrible lately. So I don't know why.
Yeah.
Just lately.
He'll bounce back.
That's Talladega. People crash, man.
Yeah. You know what we can guarantee? Brad Keselowski will push somebody into a wreck.
Probably.
Guaranteed that happens.
He wants to win races, baby. That's all he wants.
Yep. Well, and I'll make the same argument I made last Super Speedway race. I don't think it's not Brad's fault that people are wrecking. They're not good enough to be pushed by Brad. That's my thought.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
They just can't handle the push.
I like that.
Fantasy League. There was a point during this race, James, that I didn't look at where I was, but I had like 4 of the top 5. I was killing it. And then it went to hell. And I think I finished 11th, 12th, something like that.
Yeah, you finished, hold on, 12th. Yes.
But you gained points again this week, right?
I did. I gained on the leader again. Hot Rod Todd was our winner, though, and Hendrick Flair was second. I came in third, and our points leader, Green Eggs and Hamlin, was 5th. So if we go to the overall standings, I've cut it to 41. Green Eggs and Hamlin on top. I'm trying, dude. I'm trying. This is the week, though. This is a make or a break right here.
Yeah.
Because a lot can happen at Talladega.
Yeah.
But been chipping away at him.
Do you think the better strategy? So I think for the fantasy, there's 2 strategies here. You can do the same thing that the Cup drivers do. You can play the stages. In other words, you can pick the drivers.
Yeah.
That you play for points. Pick the drivers that you know are going to be good. And then when they wreck out, it doesn't matter because everybody else picked them too, so you won't screw yourself too bad.
Yep.
Or you can go for the long shots and see who gets it and maybe steal one from everybody.
I know. And I think
are you a long shot strategy or are you a safe strategy at a super speedway?
I don't want to give too much away, but I will say I'm going to try to pick drivers who are going to make it through the first 2 stages. Okay. So if that gives you a hint of what I'm thinking, I got to find guys who are going to score points. That's what I need. I am the chaser, so I have to be a little bit aggressive.
See, my problem, I think, with fantasy is that I struggle with picking on points. I pick for the finish, and I lose tons of points because I pick drivers that are playing it safe or not getting stage points and end up finishing well. Or worse yet, they don't get points and don't finish well.
Yeah, so, it's hard to balance. It's hard to balance that out.
I really miss the old system where you pick tiered drivers from each tier and you didn't switch at the end of the stage because it'd be really nice to not feel like I have to watch every race live.
Right. Yeah.
So, but This week I had Larson in my lineup, so it made it really easy.
Yeah, me too.
As soon as he had
too.
trouble, I just benched him. It's like, okay, now I don't have to watch it live anymore.
Well, me getting out of there with third place is I'm happy with because I had Larson as well. So
yeah,
and I had Reddick too. So
I had Larson, I had Reddick, and I had all kinds of drivers. I had Bubba. I had drivers that would run really well here normally.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep.
Freaking stupid.
Just it sucks.
Yeah.
it's a pain in the butt, man.
All right. Anything else, James? Did we get it all in?
I think we did, man.
Not bad. At an hour now. That's what happens when we need to pre-record every week, and then the podcast is shorter.
We got rattled, and here we are.
Where can people hit you up on social media if they want to chat during the week, James?
At James Cush on Twitter.
You can get me at TSuperspeedway on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/thesuperspeedway. Our website is thesuperspeedway.com. I mentioned you can click on the show or go through the show notes and click on links that we discussed, all that stuff. So check that out. The podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Audible, and iHeartRadio. Wherever you found us this week, please subscribe and continue to listen to new episodes each and every week. And if you go to anchor.fm/thesuperspeedway, you can leave us an audio message and we might play it on the show. Talladega. We're going to Talladega this weekend, James. It's the YellaWood 500. NASCAR Xfinity Series, Craftsman Truck Series in action as well this weekend. We'll be back next weekend to break it all down. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.